Let's begin with importing some data to play around with and then explore the options under the menu bar. First of all, we need some data. We go into get data, and to begin with a very simple piece of information, let's connect to the Excel data sheet. What I've done is I've downloaded a software. I've made a Excel out of some sample data, and that is the data we are going to import. So you just browse to your Excel sheet, attach the Excel sheet, and say open. This Power BI would now analyze the Excel data, try to relate some data, create some relationships if it can understand the data, and then and then import the data. It would also show you, give you an option to which data you want to import. So let's see, it is preparing to import. So this is the navigator wherein all the sheet data what you have. As of now, my sheet consists of two kinds of data which I really want to get in and open. By the time till the time it is opening this sheet, let us go into the downloads and let's open the sample store. Yeah, this is the data what we have in front of us. What we see is these are the headers of the data, right? This is the return items. If so, basically this data belongs to a superstore, and it's about the different kinds of sales what has happened, by who is the customer, how was the sale conducted, did we do a standard mode of shipping or a second class, when was the order given, when was the shipment sent, who was the customer, its customer unique ID, the segment it belonged to. There are three types of segments which we have over here. Country he or she belonged to, the city, the state he or she belonged to, postal code. These are the personal information of the customer. Now, what product did he purchase? What category that product fell into? What kind of subcategory the product was in? What was the name given to the product? What was the rate of that product which the user purchased? What was the quantity the user purchased? Was there any discount available for the user? If there was, then what percentage discount was given to the user? And finally, the value the user paid for the quantity he purchased. So this is one piece of information. Second sheet consists of, if there was a return in order, what was this order ID? Since order IDs are unique, it would be simple for us to trace it back. So if you look at it, order ID and your is the order ID, the column names would be the same. This is one piece of information which you would have to take care while working with the information in the Power BI. Then I have a customer list which tells me about who is the customer and what region does he belong to. You may choose to have many more different fields and attributes to every customer. For the simplicity's sake and for our understanding's sake, I have kept this sheet very simple as possible. I have ensured a couple of things over here, that the first column only consists the names of the customer, and second column especially consists of the regions. If you look at it, you would see these many regions available to the customer. And if you look at the names, there would be purely names of the customer in the system. So now let's go to the Power BI. As we see, till the time we understood the data which was imported, the sheet will show you what data is available. So if you feel what is this order is all about, the Power BI desktop gives you a system of preview. In this, it reads the data which is ready to upload into the system of Power BI desktop and gives you an option whether you want to import it into the Power BI, or you may choose to not import it to the Power BI. Since the data is huge, it might, and based on the connectivity and the bandwidth and the processing of your machine, it would throw you some content over here. So let's go ahead till the time it brings this data. I want to have all three pieces of information to be imported into my system. So what I say, I select all three from the navigator and then I say import or load. In this case, it is shown as load. So let's click on load. What it does is Power BI in the background tries to find out relationships. So it's like it says, determining automatic transformation. If there are some transformations, some corrections, some field type adjustments to be built, Power BI in itself will make that field type changes. For every table, there is a size. So basically, every Excel sheet corresponds to one table in Power BI. And every sheet, if there is relation between those two sheets, Power BI in itself would identify and try to relate it if it can clearly determine the relationship. If it cannot, then in this case, it would leave open the relationship determination to the end user or the developer building this Power BI report. So these many rows are getting imported in the returns column. There are about 290 plus rows. About 3.23 MB is the size of the Excel sheet what we've uploaded. People are getting imported in thousands and they're still importing. Yes, they're still getting imported. Let's wait for this to happen. And once it is done, yes, it is downloading. Till the time it processes this, let's go back to the Excel sheet. If you closely look at the Excel sheet, you would find out the every row has some data. Point number one. Please remember every rows and column should have some data to minimize errors in the processing in the future learning sessions we would come across. So every rows and columns should have some kind of data. Every column should have same kind of data, not the same data. So if it is numeric, ensure that it is numeric data. If it is alphanumeric, it consists alphanumeric data. If it is order ID, then all the data under that order ID column is actually an order ID. If it is a date column, ensure it is in some kind of a date format, same one unique format, whatever it might be, an American and European date format, it's okay. But it should have a date, it can't have a number or an alphabet. Similarly, customer name, there has to be a customer name. If there is a customer name, there has to be a customer ID. And if there is a customer, there are certain segments like country, state, city, which and postal code which are part of it. It should come. So now if you look at it, it is still getting downloaded. It is still getting downloaded. When some processing gets over, at that time Power BI automatically prominently comes up into your screen. So till then we can again go back, and pin code should be there for product ID. If you have analysis on the product ID, ensure product ID has some content. And similarly, if there's rate discount, this is there. So if you see, there is a calculated column which is revenue. And revenue, what does the revenue column do? It throws up what is the income which the superstore got after every sale, after discounting the value of the discounting percentage. So if you look at it, what I have done over here is Q2 into R2 for the first column, that is rate into quantity, minus the percentage of the rate into quantity, right? So this is the discounting value, what we discounted from the total value. And if you see, I have done that across all the places and it is ready. Returns column has only the return is there and at which order has been returned. So effectively we'll come to know. And then there's a people column which is only showing about the person's name and region. We are ensuring that every order has one relationship coming from unique relationship coming from the person's sheet. So before we proceeded with our import step, I ensured that there were no two columns of the same kind.